Yeah, dear students, in the previous class we have discussed syllable stress. Okay, such as the words of two syllables with the stress on first syllable, and the words of two syllable with the stress on the second, and the words of two syllables with stress on the both, and words with the three syllables with the stress on the first one, the words with three syllables with the stress on the second syllable, and the words with three syllable with stress on the third syllable. These are the points we had discussed in the previous class. And even I told you, content words are stressed and structural words are not stressed. Content words such as nouns, adjectives, main verbs, adverbs are stressed because these are content words. Whereas articles, prepositions, auxiliaries, conjunctions, personal pronouns are not stressed because these are structural words we discussed. And sometimes we can find both primary stress and secondary stress. That is the point we discussed in the previous class. And I mentioned word stress in a sentence. Word stress in a sentence. So I told you an example. He is my uncle. He is my uncle. When you stress the word my in the sentence, he is my uncle, then he is not anyone else. He is my uncle in the sense not anyone else. With that sense, we are telling that he is my uncle. He is my uncle, right? If you say he is my uncle, he is my uncle, that means you wanted to point out who is your uncle. Okay, he is my uncle. He is my uncle. If you stress he is my uncle, it means that you wanted to stress the word he to express that so and so particular person is your uncle. To indicate him, to refer him, you may stress on the word he. He is my uncle, right? And another example we can say, if you want to tell that your relation with that person, you may say, he's my uncle. If you want to say your relation with him, then you may say, he's my uncle. The stress is on the word uncle. The stress is on the word uncle, right? So, likewise, we can have the stress. Okay, this is word stress, the continuation for the previous class. Okay, now intonation. Okay, in the previous class, what did we discuss? What is stress? Stress is the force with which we utter a sound or syllable. Stress is the force with which we utter a sound or syllable. Now we have to discuss intonation, right? See, when we speak, the pitch of our voice keeps on rising and falling. When we speak, the pitch of our voice keeps on rising and falling. The pitch creates the differences in meaning. That pitch creates differences in meaning. Now, from this point, we can understand this fall and rise of the pitch in a voice is called intonation. This rise and fall of pitch, in our voice is called intonation, right? This rise and fall of pitch in voice is called intonation. In other words, intonation is a variation in pitch. Intonation is a variation in pitch. Okay, so it is done by, yeah, in pronunciation, intonation is very important. In pronunciation, intonation is very important. Okay, there are three types of intonation. There are three types of intonation. Okay, so first one, rising intonation. Rising intonation. Second one, falling intonation. Falling intonation. Falling, falling intonation. And the third one, rising and falling intonation. Rising and falling tune. Okay, so three phenomena we can observe in intonation. In one way, we may rise our voice. We may rise our voice. In another way, we may fall down our voice. Okay, we may fall down our voice. Okay, in third case, there may be rising and falling like a wave. Like a wave, there may be rising and falling in our expression. Okay, if you want to ask question, you may raise your voice. Are you going? Are you going? That is your rising voice, rising voice. Okay, if that other person answers, then he says that, yes, yes, I am going. Yes, I am going. Okay, his voice is falling. Okay, his tone intonation is falling intonation, right? When you speak something based on the information or based on the type of sentence, if it is a questioning, you may raise your voice. If it is your answer or if it is your acceptation, then you may fall. Okay, your voice may fall down. Okay, that's why this is falling intonation. But sometimes we may find both falling and rising intonation. Sometimes we may find both falling and rising intonation, or rising or falling intonation, whatever it may be. Anyhow, rising, falling intonation, rising, falling intonation. This is okay. In case of the first one, the rising intonation. Okay, this girl has gone. This girl has gone. Okay, you may rise to affirm a particular fact, or if you want to highlight, okay, what happened, or what is the important word in that sentence, you may use the rising intonation. Okay, sometimes, of course, based on our importance, we may fall and we may rise our intonation, right? So that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean, right? You have turned back. You have turned back. Okay, you are expressing your surprise. You are turned back. You are expressing your surprise. Okay, this is not what I mean. You are protecting yourself. This is not what I mean. You are protecting yourself. Okay, when you ask question like, is he going? Is he going? Okay, in such a way, we can have rising intonation. Okay, these are the examples for rising intonation. Then for falling intonation. This falling intonation occurs when we have courtesy and politeness for someone, or regretting and feeling sad and expressing sorrowness. Okay, if we have to respect, if we have to express politeness or courtesy, we do not raise our voice. Okay, when we speak something with courtesy and politeness. Okay, whatever the other people says, yes sir, yes sir. We used to say like this. That is that requires the falling intonation. Okay, if they say something, you won't say. Okay, if you respect them, you won't say no. In such situation, your voice may be falling. Okay, maybe in falling intonation, right? And then yeah, when we respect others when we respect others, maintaining courtesy and politeness, our expression may have falling intonation. Our expressions may have falling intonation. And another case is that when we feel something sad, when we feel something sad and when we express sorrowness, then our voice may be falling. Our voice may be in falling intonation. ఏం చెప్తాంలేమ్మా అలా జరిగిపోయింది, ఏం చెప్తాంలేమ్మా అలా జరిగిపోయింది. At the end, your voice may fall. Okay. If anyone, when you are suffering with fever or something, with something, then if your friend or if your neighbor asks, how are you? Then you may say, how I am suffering with fever. Your voice may be very low. You may begin with a particular pitch, but slowly your voice may get down because of this expression of the sorrowness. Expression of the sorrowness. That's why in case of expressing sorrowness, okay, generally we use this falling tone, right? Okay, when you say some philosophical statements which may concern to the negative aspect, or which may concern which may be pessimistic, then we can say life is not bed of roses. Life is not bed of roses. We may say like this, right? Okay, so this is how it is a falling intonation. And then rising falling intonation, right? Okay, students, are you able to understand? Okay, if you list out such words such as book, pen, orange, apple, bag, etc., then you may not use or you may not maintain the same pitch. Okay, you may maintain, okay, rising and falling intonation. You may maintain rising and falling intonation, right? So, for example, Ravi is a great player. Ravi is a great player. Ravi is a great player. Okay, you may rise great, but you may fall. You may maintain the falling intonation for the word player. Okay, so where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you? Okay, there are we use we use to utter the word are the falling intonation. Where are you going? Where are you going? Likewise, you may use. Okay, based on our importance, right? So in such a way, we may maintain. Rising, falling intonation in our speech, right?
Sir,
So,
excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
రైజింగ్ ఇంటోనేషన్ కి ఫాలింగ్ ఇంటోనేషన్ కి చెప్పారు సార్ సింగిల్ సెంటెన్స్. రైజింగ్ ఫాలింగ్ ఇంటోనేషన్ కి కౌంటింగ్ నంబర్స్ తప్ప వేరే అబ్రివియేషన్ ఇవ్వలేదు సార్ మీరు.
Yeah, that's what I am telling. Ravi is a great player.
Yes sir.
Ravi, we rise, is, we fall. Ravi is a great player. Ravi is a great player. We rise Ravi and we rise great. We fall the word is and a and player. Okay. Generally, we maintain the balance, rising and falling. We maintain the balance like a wave, rising, falling, rising, falling. Okay. In case of such sentences. Okay. Just a number I gave you just to make you understand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, continuously you can't maintain the same pitch. Continuously you can't maintain the same pitch. Okay, that is the problem. So intonation is a pitch of the musical notes. Because of the intonation, we can feel the musical note. Okay, produced by the vibration of the vocal cords. Okay, that's why here, if you mix the falling and rising intonation based on the words, already in the beginning, when I mentioned word stress, I told you that only content words are stressed and structural words are not stressed. Okay, that's why here structural words like is, okay, they may not be stressed. Okay, not only that, even for some words we do not use rising intonation, we use falling intonation, right? So this is stress and intonation. This is the stress and intonation. Okay.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yeah. So
hello, sir.
Yes. Who is speaking? Yeah, Suvarnakala.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.